From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Morreale and Hitch.
All right, welcome everybody to the Morreale and Hitch show. I'm Mike Morreale. Rob Hitchcock is here somewhere, and we're excited for show number 4. Rob, can you believe it's show number 4?
Tough to believe, but it's. I think it's pretty good so far, from what I hear. Except
neither one of us remembers the first 3 shows.
No idea. But I do have to say, I'm not quite sure why this happens. But if you ever noticed when you and I talk to each other, I sound like I want to be
an accent. We get an Italian accent.
I had 2 or 3 guys say to me, "Why do you sound Italian?" I'm like, what do you mean? So I actually listened back. I'm like, holy shit, I actually do sound. Why do we do that? I know why.
Like it.
I know why. We emphasize our words, especially with, remember when Jesse Lumsden came in?
So stupid.
How stupid he was. So that's how I think it all started, because we didn't just call him stupid. He's like, okay, let's repeat.
He's not stupid in the sense of being dumb.
Yes.
Well, he's kind of dumb. And we just call him stupid.
But then it got not just stupid. It's he's so stupid. I think that's how it all started. Like we actually
that's how it started.
And then we just emphasize all of our words. Not you, because you got Italian in you. I don't. So there's no excuse for me.
But you want some.
Well,
you want a little or do you want a lot?
I want a little
Italian in you.
Italian. But I do have to admit, in Hamilton, I grew up on a street where I was surrounded by Italians.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Whenever I get around them, all my buddies and that are
your buddy Pete.
How about your buddy
Pete Pettinelli? Busting. It started a long time ago, buddy.
Yeah, you know what? It started like 25 years ago.
Probably.
I'm gonna consciously think to myself when I'm talking to you now. I gotta actually talk normal, because people say, "What?"
You kids, come on. Who's kidding you? This is how we talk. And this is what you're going to get if you're listening. That's about it. Hey, buddy, you don't have it yet because you got the super duper, there's something about Mary headset on. But I got this beautiful system. Look at this thing. Beautiful.
Looks nice.
And then I got this shield
right
here.
By your face. Put it right by your face.
Yeah. So listen, it's like Luke, I am your father. How perfect is that?
That sounds really good, actually.
It does sound good.
I don't know why you didn't pick mine up from the stadium.
Okay, there's a story here.
Oh, sure.
So I go in the other day to do the game for the Cats. Me and RJ Broadhead, we're calling the game, the Montreal game. So Dave's there, our producer, Dave Cadeau, and he hands over this bag. Me and Andy Fantuz and all these other guys that are there, and you're not there because you're golfing or doing something, whatever you're doing. And then I don't realize till I'm talking to him yesterday, because I got to practice this new system. He's like, "Hey, everyone's got their stuff set for Hitch." I'm like, I could have took Hitch's the other day at the game. I work right around the corner. He's like, "Oh, yeah. It was his fault. He took the blame."
Oh, he should, because he was going to meet me in Toronto last week after my exam, because I think he's down that area, but he didn't. So, you know what? I think he just want these stupid.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Sound like a bloody tin can again, but that's okay.
Listen, I don't want to get into the exam. I heard it's hard. I don't want to get into it, but I heard it's hard.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it last week. I got 61%. I needed 70. And
but you could take it lots of times, right?
I got 3 months to take it 47 times if I want. It might need 47. You know what? It's tough, Mike. Honestly.
Oh, that's a tough exam.
Yeah, at my age, it's
at 60. It's tough.
It's hard to retain. Yeah, 61, but I know you're talking about my age. It's a tough exam, but you know what? I've crammed a bit. I've got to write it next Tuesday again, so I've got.
Oh, you're good.
I'll be fine, but it's just it's terrible. I can't remember anything.
No. Listen, we thought we were done school when we were done school. No one thought we'd go back be doing tests at this age, but you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Hey, did you watch the Jays game or games?
Did I ever? You know, what a shame. I was watching. I was going back and forth on Sportsnet 360, and I was watching the Sox play, and just to see, because it was 5-1 for Washington. And I'm like, okay, this is great. I think it was 10-2 or 10-1 for the Jays at the time. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. And I kept going back and forth. Every time I went back to Boston, boom, they scored 2 runs. So I said, I'm bad luck. But yeah, what a shame. They've got such an exciting young team. And they're going to be good for a couple of years to come if they can hold some of those guys together and pay them. But what a shame. I mean, and even in the 9th or 10th, I think the Yankees a walk-off run to
crazy
score like 0-0 to 1. I wish they would have got in, because I think they would have played yesterday in Boston. And then there were so many scenarios. Did you see, like, if they're all 4 of Seattle got in, it would have went Toronto to Seattle, New York to Boston. Like, it was just so many.
Oh, yeah.
In the history. I don't think it's ever been 4 ties. Well, it never was, because it never happened. But I think it'll be a good game tonight. I don't think I'm going to watch it, Boston. And once Toronto's out, I'm not a big fan of.
I'm the same way. Once the Canadian teams are out, then I just turn it off.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just, but I got to say, man, those guys can hit some dingers. Like, they could launch some balls.
Like George Bell, remember those guys back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could hit them. But yeah, you know what? I like the young team. So, it's the only Toronto team that I actually like. I actually do like a bit of the Raptors too. What am I talking about?
Yeah, the Raptors. You gotta like the Raptors. There's no in Canada. It's the beauty. The Raptors stand alone. Like, they don't have. There's no other team that you need to like because there's a team in Montreal or Vancouver or whatever. You like the Raptors, like the Raptors. You don't like the Raptors, I guess you don't like basketball. I don't know.
And who am I kidding? I actually like the Leafs too.
I know you're so stupid.
I am stupid.
Unbelievable though. 91 games they win. They can't get into the playoffs. Can't even get a wild card.
Oh, how about on the other side, Dodgers? 106 games that they're playing a wild card. Like, I don't know. It's mind-boggling to see you can win that many games and not get in the playoffs. They switched that a few years ago. The playoff system in the wild card. None of them liked it. All the announcers, I was listening to them the other day, they said, wow, we brought this wild card in a few years ago. We didn't like it at first, but I think it's good now. Well, of course it is. You're going to take the top team. Like, there's the team, the parity in the East anyway, with the Sox, Jays. Like, that's a tough division to get through.
Oh, yeah.
They could put 3-4 teams through there and they would do well through the playoffs. But anyways.
So a little sidebar story. So my wife, as you know, used to be a flight attendant. The current and last, the caboose. There's no more after this train, buddy. Okay. This is it. She worked for Mark Cuban, who owned a couple jets. She was a flight attendant. She used to fly around, the Oakland A's, Texas Rangers, Dallas Mavs, Dallas Stars, Beyonce, Jay-Z, the whole shoot match. But she would always tell me about traveling with baseball players. She said, oh my, these guys eat and drink and are the most unathletic group of individuals because they got at least 5-day road trips, man. You got guys pulling hamstrings going from first to second. Like, I don't get it. I don't get the baseball thing.
No, I don't either.
I think you should pay the catcher and the pitcher the most. They have the hardest jobs. If you're in the outfield, no offense, see a ball 3 times a game, run under it.
Maybe not once.
Maybe not at all.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hey, that's for another day. I've never been a big baseball guy. I like baseball, but you got to be a purist. You got to understand all the stats, all that other kind of stuff. Whatever. Hey, listen, went out this morning to get some breakfast. I'm addicted to chicken McMuffins at McDonald's. Addicted. No mayo because I got to save a little bit of calories, but they're so good. But now it's, what's this thing here? What's it called? Monopoly. Monopoly's back. And they time it up with,
Monopoly used to be a good bar.
You remember the club Monopoly? Oh my God. You remember when you used to smoke in clubs? Like, have about 16 packs of cigarettes around you? You'd come home and if you did this, smoke would come out like about 3 a.m.
Remember, I worked at Fever Underground for a few years. Disgusting.
Did you ever?
Underground bar with butts and joints
everywhere,
and whatever else. It was awful. And I had to stand on a chair.
What did you do there? Let's be honest.
So I was playing for the Cats and they brought me in. I forget his name, but I think Boris. Remember Boris?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he was the owner there, and he brought me in and said, "Listen, you play for the Cats. You want to be a bouncer?" And I said, "Sure. What do I got to do?" He goes, "Just stand on this chair and overlook everything." Because as soon as you walk in, you have to go down these long stairs.
Yep.
Remember, you go down the stairs, and then it just hit you with the smoke. Anyway, so yeah, he came into this little room. And there's little packets of rooms kind of all over the place at Fever, and then one big pit, that big dance floor. It said, "Just stand at the doorway and just watch." And I had a little radio set like this, probably looked just like this. And anytime there was a fight, because there was a fight 2-3
all the
times a
time.
night, if you saw it, just signal the big guys to go in. And they always told me, they said, "Don't touch, don't use your hands because you're playing. You don't want you to break your fingers or your hand. Don't ever punch anybody. Just use your elbows." So I'm like, okay. So I saw this one fight in the pit. I'm not going in the pit because you're going to get in the head or something. So I made the call, and all I see these guys jump over top of the railing down into the pit, and next thing you know, it's a scrum. But I loved it because I came home smelling like a dart every single night. I made cash money every night. $60 a night, I think it was.
$60.
Good money back
Big money.
Filled up the Mustang and did a few donuts in the parking lot. Came home.
Left with your shirt off, jumped in the car.
Wow.
The good old days.
2 a.m. Yeah, you don't have the shirt off at 2. At 1, maybe. At 1.
1, maybe. 2 o'clock. That's ridiculous. You got to put it on it.
I interrupted you. You got to talk about your McDonald's there. Your McDonald's.
Oh yeah. So no, what I'm saying is best coffee. I listen. I love Tim Hortons. I also go to Tim Hortons. Love McDonald's coffee, but Tim Hortons has got the roll up the rim. You remember you were talking about the other week. You were chewing on it. It's no longer like that, right? Digital. Yeah. They brought out here the Monopoly game. So I already won this morning. I went out. I won a cheeseburger, and I won coffee.
Huh?
Pretty good.
That's my story. Chicken McMuffins are off the charts, though.
Oh my God, they're so good. Yeah. They're so good, and they're a knockoff. Not a very good knockoff, but a knockoff to Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches. Have you ever had a Chick-fil-A? No. Oh my! Are you kidding me? Well, first of all, there's only one of them in Canada. I think it's in Toronto. It's unbelievable. When you go to the States and have a Chick-fil-A sandwich, it's the best. Yeah. So good.
What'd you think
Pickles, everything.
What'd you think of the game?
Oh, that was a tough one, buddy. I mean, it ended fantastic. So if you're just going to watch the highlights of that game, the game's going to look pretty decent because they'll package up the end of it and it'll look nice. But until that point, was a struggle.
Yeah, from what I watched,
a struggle.
Very, very much a struggle. Like they got to get their act together. I don't know what the heck they're going to do, but I mean. They're 4-4, right? Like they're second place or tied for first or whatever the heck it is. I think Toronto's 4-3. They're a game back, but just you can't go each game. I know Mazzoli's back; he's a phenomenal quarterback, but they got to get some momentum going. They don't have anything going right now. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch, but we've been there. We've been on teams where it takes a little bit of time to gel and to get the guys going. But it just seems like, each week there's a different quarterback. You got Evans one, Watford one, then now we got Mazzoli and then back. So who knows when Evans comes back in a couple of weeks, is there going to be a quarterback controversy? Who knows?
I mean, Watford won them 2 games. I mean, and probably nobody thought that he would. And it's crazy to watch, man. I don't get it because we had played on some crap teams, but at the same time, we had some crap players too. Like I look at that roster for the Cats, they're stacked. Oh yeah, they're stacked. And I feel bad. You know better than anybody. I feel bad for the defense. I mean, man, they're on the field all the time. How many times can you save the offense? 2 and outs ain't going to get it done on offense, and then the defense comes in and they got their backs against the wall all the time. It's a tough situation.
Well, I know it's still early. I think there's about half a season gone so far, but you look at the West with Winnipeg at 7-1, Saskatchewan, I think 5-3, BC 4-4. And I always look at that crossover because it's notorious every year. There's always the 4th best team in the West has a better record than the 3rd place team in the East. So, Montreal's 3-4, which is they're coming on a little bit. So I'm hoping that it's going to stay East. I don't think it's ever been in the history of the playoffs. There's been a ton of times where the West came over, but they've never won.
I don't think they've ever won.
No, I don't think there's ever won because there's never been He's
Never been a
a
West-West.
Grey Cup with the West-West, never. Which I hope never happens, because especially if it's, the Grey Cup's here in Hamilton, or if it's in Toronto, that would suck.
Oh, imagine that. Like, no offense, but who from Hamilton wants to go see, BC and Calgary play in the Grey Cup in Hamilton? Not going to happen. So let's make sure that doesn't happen. These guys, but to your point, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. There's enough games to go. They can control their own destiny. The Grey Cup's in Hamilton. If that's not excitement enough to play, I don't know. I mean, you and I would have died to play in our hometown.
Yeah.
Grey Cup with the home team. That would have been awesome. Hey, you know what we never talked about a lot? Families. I got a brother and a sister. You got 2 brothers and a sister. You're the youngest, eh?
Yeah, youngest.
You're the youngest.
Youngest.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest.
Yeah. Well, you got a good family. Your sister's the best. Your brother's a bit of a burger.
Oh, he's something else. Honest to God, this guy.
Greg is.
This guy. Oh my! So he lives across the street from me. He lived here first. He kind of almost directly across the street here, and he's just a piece of work. There's not too many like this guy. He looks like my older brother. He's my younger brother, 5 years younger.
Yep.
But I remember stories as a kid. So, not often, but occasionally my parents would go away on vacation. So my brother was notorious of taking all the crap out of my room. Doesn't matter what it is. He'd take anything, clothes, he'd take whatever's on my counter, he'd take gel, he'd take my pillowcase, whatever he could take, he'd take for no reason other than he just wanted to be a pain in the ass. So I used to lock my door when I was a kid. And then he found a way. And I didn't know this. I didn't find this out until the one time my noni, my grandmother, came over to take care of us because my parents were going away on vacation. I wake up one day. I'm like, what's going on? There's a ruckus outside. I look outside. My brother's having a yard sale. He's having a yard sale, impromptu yard sale. I look at what is he selling out there? He's selling my clothes. He went out we're at the second level. He went out his room, crawled on the roof line, over the carport, over to my room, into the window, which he unlocked at some point previous that day.
Smart.
Because he had this planned. Yeah, he had it planned. Went into my closet, took all my clothes, and started selling my clothes on the street. Now, to make it even better, when he was selling clothes, he was telling people, if they don't fit properly, my grandmother will hem them for you right here.
How old was he?
He was like 13. I was like 18.
Oh.
This guy is something else.
Yeah.
And you got a couple beauties too.
I do. Yeah, my sister is living in Alabama.
Yeah, what you doing there? She met a guy there?
No, met him here, actually.
Really?
Yeah, her fourth husband, I think.
Gosh, she's got me beat, eh?
Yeah,
she got me beat.
That's why I said you two should have got together. Did perfect match.
You kidding me? That'd be like dating you. No, don't get me wrong. Your sister's a beautiful looking lady, but that'd be like dating you.
Yeah, it would be.
She's more like you than your brothers are.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my 2 brothers, John and Paul, we look nothing alike. Nothing alike. So Paul's my dad. John's my mom, and Joni is kind of
you,
but she's me. Yeah, I'm her. One of the other.
You're her.
Yeah,
you're her.
They're beauties. Brother's a retired science phys ed teacher in Hamilton.
He's retired, eh?
Yeah, he retired about a year ago or so. Worked at the golf club at Willow Valley. I think he still does. Just odds and ends stuff he does. He's got it made. When he was coming out of Acadia, I don't know. Probably nobody knows this, but he went to school with your cousin, Paul.
Yeah, Paul Masadi.
So him and Paul went to Acadia together, and of course, your cousin was drafted in Toronto and played a Hall of Fame career down there. And my brother was drafted to Winnipeg at that time. I think it was 89 or 88 when they just won the Cup.
Yep.
And they had a great receiving corps. And he went down to their training camp and got cut the last couple of days of training camp. And then he came up here into Hamilton, and McCarthy, I think at the time, was the player personnel, and said, do you want to come? We want you to come to Hamilton. So this was right after camp. And at the same time, he got a full-time teaching job, and he ended up taking the teaching job. Smart. I mean, it would have been kind
Yeah.
of cool if he he got there in '89, and then who knows if he played 5-6 years, and I came in '95 and could have played together. And
you would have loved it. What would you have done if he was lined up across from you? You were playing safety. What would have happened? Would you take it easy on him?
It'd probably been the same as you. I took it easy on you that one time.
Please, that's your excuse, buddy.
Yeah.
You know, we already talked about that.
Actually, we would have been hitting in practice because Sudsy made us crush everybody in practice back then.
Yeah,
everything doesn't matter. But no, it would have been fun. And then of course my other brother John been a truck driver since he was like 20, I think. So he's been they got a great family, close knit group of just like you guys. Family is what it's all about, right? So
hey, listen, I played golf the other day. I know it sounds like I do a lot of golfing, but I don't. But I know you do. But I played at Redtail.
Beautiful.
And we stayed over there. Have you ever played there?
Yeah, twice.
Oh, what a place. And when we were playing it, the helicopter came in and dropped off like a foursome in the middle of the day. Awesome.
When I played there years ago, Sean Connery,
yes,
helicopter, because he's part of a 60 round table that they're members.
Yes.
I don't know if that's changed, but at that time, I think there was like Lemieux and there was a bunch of them that had a 60 round table membership there, and they used to come in. But I went with Wally Filoni.
Oh God, yeah.
So Wally brought me down there, and I never forget. We went in and played 9 holes. It's like, I don't know, 2.5 hours to play 9 holes. We went in, of course, the little clubhouse, the little tiny pro shop up the stairs, and you go pick what you want. The club pros there, and they've got a chef. And I think we had about a 2.5 hour lunch, drank wine. And then I went back up. There's only like 8 people on the course when I was there. There was nobody there.
I know.
And, nice track. It's a beautiful track.
It's just the environment. It's in the middle of nowhere. Like you can't find it.
Upstairs? Did you stay upstairs?
Stayed upstairs.
I was snoring with everybody.
Oh, it wasn't too bad. So we had 4 of us, but me and my our VP at the league office, we shared a room with like 4 beds in it. So we made sure we didn't like have the beds facing each other. That'd be kind of weird. Like, hey, good night. So we stayed on the wall, both of us on different sides. And then the other 2 people we were with stayed. There's a king room and another apartment. And then they have those beautiful homes on the course and all that stuff. But the cool thing is you're in the middle of nowhere. There's only, I think, 5 other groups that went out that day. Yeah. So it's like pristine. You do whatever you want. You stop, you get lunch. We had a beautiful dinner. It was good.
How about getting to the place? But those gates, is it all?
You wouldn't even know where it is.
You wouldn't even know where it is. Nothing. It's so hard to get there. It's on the map GPS. Jesus, we went down.
You just got to believe the GPS. You just got to go.
Yeah.
You just got to go. Anyway, that's my story for golf. I'm actually golfing today. Canada basketball golf tournament. Wow. I know. I got to get it in now. Good
luck with the rain and the crap today, but. Hey, I got something. I was reminiscing on some stories, trying to think of some stuff to say. You remember this. This was probably really funny. We after games, we always have about, I don't know, 3 to 5 reporters who come into the room after the game. The same guys every single week. Same guys asking the same questions, blah, blah, blah.
Smelling like butts.
Butts, darts, you name it. And the one time they let a female in.
That was early. That was early. Like this is before females were really allowed or not allowed. They entered locker rooms. Yeah,
like a test pilot. So she came in, and I'll never forget. It was you, me, Ozzy, and I think Grigor. Yeah, on that wall. And she came in, and picture this: like our locker room after a game. We did our little coach did our spiel or whatever, and then everyone's showering like this. Towels off, and then all of a sudden the girl, it's like drop the mic. We look back and there's a female in. Oh boy, that was one of the funniest.
I don't know who was more uncomfortable, us or her, because it's like
remember her eyes. I remember watching her.
They stayed.
She looking up, like looking at the ceiling, walking around. But I caught her like I don't know how many times down, taking a look, and then moving her head quickly. And we crushed. Like not we. Let me rephrase. The guys just didn't know what to do because
they didn't know what to do.
We didn't know how to. So she's talking to you, and you've got a towel on, or some guy would pull your towel off in the middle of your interview, and just sitting there nude doing it.
Guys are stupid. I tell this to my daughter all the time. Yeah, boys are stupid, and that's all you need to know.
Yeah. We had fun. The guys had some fun. I think he was only in there once or twice, but of course, Ronnie Lancaster at the time is like, hey, respectful. Of course, we respect. We weren't doing anything stupid back then, but it was weird having that in there. Now now
it's commonplace. But we were like one of the first times that there were definitely women in the locker room. That was different. Now, fair game.
Oh boy.
Now fair game. Hey, what was I going to say? I had something on my mind here, but then you threw me off, Rob.
Sometimes
you do that sometimes to me. Oh, I wanted to talk a bit of football here, but I wanted to ask you, and then I'll tell you kind of my answer. I wanted to ask you, who are the toughest guys you played against in your career? They could be any position. Who are the toughest guys you played against?
I would have to say, so receiver wise, I would go Alan Pitts.
Oh yeah.
Stiegel.
Yep.
Like just pure route runners, great guys could catch. Mookie Mitchell.
Oh, Daryl. Yeah. Mookie lived with me. I don't know if you remember this when he was playing in Toronto.
Oh yeah.
He lived with me.
Yeah. So receiver wise, those guys, but the backs would be number one toughest guy I've ever played, Pringle.
Oh,
Mike Pringle was cut out of a stone. And we, I don't know if anyone ever knew this, but we never said anything to each other until our careers were long done and we saw each other at a games. And when I was in Montreal, I think you and I were in Montreal and I saw him.
Yeah.
And anyway, so we never really talked about it. When the first time he came up here, I think he was with Baltimore. And we went down and played in the States because the expansion were down in the States. And we hit each other. He came through the middle and I came flying up from safety and we hit each other like two buckhorns. And
I remember that to this day. It was like, what?
Yeah. Both of us kind of went backwards and kind of shook our heads and never said a bloody word to each other. But we just had this pact, I think, without talking to each other, is that every time that he came up the middle and he had some open field, I knew that he was not going to make a move on me.
Not a move.
And I would never go low on him, ever.
Nope.
And we hit each other, I don't know how many times in my career. But it was just one of those things. We talked about it in Montreal and was like, you notice that? He goes, yeah. He says, I respected you the first time we hit each other. And I said, well, I respected you for running the way you ran. And we had so many great collisions. And that's probably one of him and Robert Drummond.
Oh, yeah. Because Robert was a big running back. I played with Robert in the art. He's a tall, big running back.
Yeah. He wasn't hard. Hard like Pringle. Calvin Anderson from Calgary as well, like low compact guys that like to get low on you. Because I was a little taller, 6'2", I think I was like 218 playing, but if those guys get low on you, it's
you're finished.
They're going to win the battle, right? But anyways, how about you?
I tell you what, the toughest guys in terms of just pure like mean sons of bitches. Number one, there's two number ones for me, Mike O'Shea and Alondra Johnson.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh my God. First of all, O'Shea almost sent me to the hospital repeatedly. Like he was just, and even when I played on the same team as him, he was just an angry, hard-nosed pain in the ass. And it didn't matter who you were, if you came in his area, he was going to knock you out. Yeah. But Alondra Johnson, I think seriously wanted to kill me on several occasions. And I think it all stems back to my very first year in 1995 with the Cats. I hit him on a comeback block and I got a good decleater on him and he didn't like that. No. And for the rest of my career, he literally wanted to kill me. And he had the arm. I don't know if you remember, he had the arm band. He would hit you with that thing. He'd want to decapitate you. Yeah. And I, for the life of me, to this day, I think he really I really believe he wanted to hurt me. Like and not in a bad way. He just wanted to show me, like I respected him because I'm like, if you go anywhere near this guy, you're going to get knocked out. And there was a story the year before. He hunted down Trevathan in the end zone because Trevathan got him on a cutback block and broke his jaw. Like that's the type of guy. He was like you don't mess around with him.
No, you get him, he's going to get you twice back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. He was an animal. Like, wow. I remember him. I respected,
My God.
his game. That's for sure.
And then Daryl Hall, who also played in the Stampeders, that guy was good. He was the first real Sam linebacker. He had arms that were like a mile long. He was the guy that came before GV, Gerald Vaughn. Like, long arms, could run, could stop the run, but could cover you and stuff. That dude was tough too. But O'Shea
Daryl
Orlando.
Daryl Hall, his partner was John Oates.
That's right. Great singer. Amazing singer. Long arm singer.
Yeah.
But those two, I mean, there's lots of guys. And then we play with a bunch of chooches too. We haven't even brought up Adriano Belli yet.
No.
It's tough to bring up Adriano and make sure we say nice things and polite things.
He sent me a text about 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Guess what it said? You know how he talks, right? Guess what it just said? Right out of the blue, it's 12 o'clock, midnight, out of the blue, I love you. That's it.
Of course, for no reason.
Hasn't talked to me in 5 years. That I love you. I'm like, what are you doing? Nothing. Didn't hear anything back. Nothing back.
He's a beauty. You know who else is? We play with some good guys, man. Marwan Hage, another beauty. Another beauty.
We can't
I never met a guy. This guy was always a businessman. Everything was about business. So the fact that he's killing the business does not surprise me. But there was no free lunch with Marwan. Everything had a price tag to it. He'll do something for you, but it's going to cost you something.
Yeah. We can't even, I'm not going to bring it up because it's actually not, it's funny when we were there. Remember
you're talking about the poker game?
Yeah.
Oh, we can't talk about it. It was so good.
No, we can't. We'll have to.
It was so good.
We'll talk about to the producer. But that's something I don't think we could ever bring up.
I don't think. Because there's so many things that, are funny in the moment, but perhaps now aren't so funny.
Yeah, not so funny,
But it was his joke. So it actually, it was, the good thing was, if we can't get into the story, it was his joke. It was a funny joke. In no way, shape, or form was anybody doing anything wrong.
One guy was offended. One guy from the U.S. was offended, but that's okay.
What are you going to do? Hey, listen.
From Beirut.
Beirut. I said Beirut. That's the best baseball player ever did see. The one. Do you remember Kojo? I do. Do you remember what he did? What he sold us that one year? Those scrubbing brushes. Remember that? Do you remember? He made a business. Yep. Now you have to picture this. If you ever bought at a grocery store, you go to Costco or you go to Fortino's and you buy like a basket of, I don't know, grapefruits, and they're sitting on this like mesh, like fabric that goes underneath. So, the drainage. I swear to God, Kojo got those things. It was like a hard plasticky mesh, towel, and he would sell them as like loofahs. And all the guys in the team bought these stupid things like they were revolutionary. It was literally a piece of plastic, looked like mesh, and you're just scraping your skin off.
Yeah.
I cannot believe some of the stuff that went on.
Well, he's a multimillionaire now. He might be. I don't even know what he's doing.
Oh, Kojo.
Oh,
love Kojo.
Good. Hey, listen, I should remember this because I don't remember the year, but I'm almost positive when Ozzie kicked that field goal, that was 1998.
98. Right? Remember your stupid face in that picture?
No, that's my story. That's my story. So let's rephrase this, go back. 98, we're playing Montreal. And we go down, we score, and there's like a minute. And I think there's an
Eastern final. This is not just a regular game. It's the Eastern final to go to the Grey Cup.
At Ivory Win to go to the Grey Cup. And we score, and there's a minute 51 left. And we go into this, we pin them down to like the 20-yard line. Tracy Ham marches these guys down. And we're playing a bit of a prevent again, like we did in the 90s.
God, that stupid prevent defense, man.
And he picked us apart all the way down the field. They score with, I think there was like 48 seconds.
24 or 27. It wasn't a lot. 24 or 27, I think.
Yeah, so we got, they kicked off to us, and they're going completely nuts on Montreal's bench. Like they're going to the Grey Cup. Whatever he said. I think there was 30-something seconds left. Danny Mack gets the ball. We hand it off to Ron Williams. He gets like 14, 2 passes to Flutie. I don't know if you got one as well. And there's like 2 seconds left on the clock. And it's a windy, cloudy, crappy day in October or November, actually. It was beginning of November. And Ozzy kicks this field goal, 54-yarder, and hammers it through. So
hammered it
through with his size 5 foot that he has. He hammered this thing, gets through. There's a picture in the Spectator the next day. We were leaving. We went to Winnipeg that next day. Like, we had our team meeting. There's a picture of me, the team, running out to Ozzy in the middle of the field. And my face, you remember my face?
Can you show your face? That
like my
mom crying and yelling.
Oh my God. So I've got this picture somewhere. I have to show it sometime. I'll have to find it for next week. But long story short, this picture of me, and just kind of had me running into the crowd. Like, you could see Grigor, you could see Ozzy's little head in the front, and all these guys there. And it just happened to be me, like, just about to get to this huddle. And it's me kind of crying with my mouth wide open. So what did the guys do? Phil Brick, all the guys, they made 200 copies.
Absolutely.
And they taped it. I don't know how they got to Air Canada terminal early. They taped it on the bus. They taped it through the terminal. They taped it on the Air Canada flight. Every single seat had it taped on all the way through.
That stupid face.
And then all the flight attendants, everything. Who's that? That's me. That's me. Just that stupid face, like the funny shit that these guys did. I said, who did 200 copies of that?
Why not? It's if we can make fun of you even more, then that's what we got to do. And speaking of that, when I called the game the other day on Saturday, in the booth, there's one of those cutout heads, pictures of you. It must have been from when you got inducted or put on the wall. But at that, your teeth, what did you do? You got your teeth redone or something, didn't you? Those stupid teeth? What happened?
Hockey, I got them knocked out years ago. And I got
these ones too.
Yeah.
I took the stick. I should never be on a hockey rink. I should never be on the ice.
Yeah, that left one wasn't good back then. Wasn't good. It's all fixed now. Dr. Viergiver used to fix them.
Oh, yeah, Doc. He was good.
And talk to you for 15 minutes in the chair, and you can't say a word because your mouth's frozen. Hey, so the game's got. You can't even talk to you. That's so funny. Hey, who's my God. On the wall next?
I don't know who's going to go.
I don't know.
Well, Danny should definitely go. I mean, you think of the guys just in our era. So we had the good fortune, I guess, bad fortune, whatever, being the last team to win. So, I mean, and there's been great players since, don't get me wrong, but I think there's still a lot of guys from our era that need to be recognized. Obviously, Joe's up there, you're up there, Danny should be up there, Darren should be up there. I mean, hell, Archie should be up there. There's a whole list of people, in my opinion. But, I don't know how the selection works. There's also, people that played well before us that haven't gone in. So it's regardless, you are in excellent company up there. But I don't know. But I would say Danny. Danny would be the guy. I can't see why not. I mean, Danny did everything here.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Again, I don't know the criteria to get in there, but it's got to be years played. It's got to be,
I think it's years played. It's all stars. It's, obviously, stats. But there, there's a group of people up there that were not just good players. They did a lot for the community, did some other stuff too. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, you might be up there beside me.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be a great surprise one day. But listen, for right now, me and you on the podcast, that's as good as it's going to get. Do
you remember the Brian Timmons Field where we used to practice, some of the potholes?
Oh, yeah.
In there? So I remember, I'm just thinking of this because of the teams that go into loud stadiums. Do you remember we had all the equipment guys? They used to strap the city workers leaf blowers on the back of their.
Oh yeah.
The gas.
Oh
ones.
yeah.
And they
the diesel. It was like
they used to stand behind our huddles, and Coach Lancaster or Sudsy, whatever was coaching at the time, they thought we got to make it loud because we've got to do the silent count and all that for the offense. Yeah. And these things would go for all practice, never shut them off. and the smoke. We couldn't even watch film from these things. They had I think it was the oil and the gas mixture.
Oh yeah.
And the smell, we'd come in, we'd stink like that, and it couldn't even breathe. And we had because it was mimicking the crowd noise for leaf blowers, and they had 5 of those going around. Why wouldn't they just pump in some music? It's
listen, there was guys like literally getting like smoke inhalation, wanting to die because we just wanted to create crowd noise with leaf blowers.
Yeah,
the diesel, the fumes.
Billy Ray Cyrus right behind Danny Mac blowing this thing. He can't even talk in the huddle. It's like,
brutal. Remember the scrap Billy Ray in the locker room?
Yeah, well, we egged that on though.
Wow, we just kind of pushed it gently, no?
We said he could take you, and he's like, "No, we'll get you lunch if you guys fight." And
we did that, eh?
Yeah,
that was fun at the time.
They went at each other. There's a couple street kids that were like we said, great kid. That's I don't know if you listened last week, but that's Billy Ray's the one guy that was stirring the Gatorade with up to his armpit. And yeah, he fought this other kid, and we let him go for
a bit.
Yeah, about 30 seconds.
Nobody got hurt.
No, they threw a couple bombs at each other, and then they hugged after, and
that was the best part.
And we didn't make them fight. They were at each other because one wanted to do one job, one wanted to go higher up than the other one did.
Right.
So it was just one of those things where
we suggested maybe a few fisticuffs will straighten this matter out.
And they did it.
And it did.
They did it. And they were buddies. They're probably still buddies to this day.
That's right. Speaking of buddies, you know who calls me all the time? Love this guy, Shaggy. You remember Shaggy?
Oh,
Shaggy's the best.
He's the one that fought.
Exactly. It was Billy Ray.
He's got to be 40 now, right?
More, buddy. I think at least 40. At least 40. It's his birthday recently. He's living out in BC now. Texts me and wants to know what's going on. He misses the boys. Couldn't come back for your induction. He just loves the boys, eh? Just loves it.
Is he still 80 pounds?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wiry. He's wiry.
I miss those guys.
You remember the locker rooms? You go into we used to have the music in the locker room. That was always a big deal. What music got played, and Coulter wanted to play either rock or country, and all the rest of the boys wanted to play hip hop and everything else. There was a battle every single day until one day they just glued it to the country station, so you couldn't even change the knob on the stereo system.
Yeah, we were our little row because we were at Boardwalk, right? That's what we called it.
Oh yeah, we were Park Place, Boardwalk. I guarantee.
At the back of the locker room, it was the 4 of us, me, Ozzy, you, and Grigor, and we had the beer fridge beside Greg, and we had the fridge that happened.
It just happened to be full of beer,
and then the stereo was right above it, and we used to control that stereo until they glued it.
Yeah.
But it was actually good because we gave everybody a chance this is before really headphones. Like
that's right.
Headphones back then, but nobody really had them. And we would, especially game day. Game day was we'd allow 10, 15 minutes of AC/DC for Coulter, them 15, 20 minutes of hip hop and then country. But it got to a point where I just couldn't listen to some of that stuff. There's some bad music. I like a lot of good music, but there's some stuff that's just bad.
Well, how do you please like 65 guys in their locker room? That's the problem. That's why the headphones.
Don't play anything. Don't
play nothing.
Yeah.
Listen, I just got an alert, man. I got like work to do today. I don't know about you. Oh, you got to study.
You got to go golfing.
Oh, I do have to golf. Yes, yeah. I got to do a little work before that. But you have to study.
Yep.
Because when are you writing this test again? Is it next show? Are we going to talk about it?
Oh, next Tuesday.
Oh.
So we're going to have to maybe
do a live show on Wednesday.
Yeah, that'd be good. Let's do it.
We also have to think, and maybe we'll throw this out to the audience now, all one of you. Who should we have on the show as a guest? Doesn't have to be football. Doesn't have to be our era. Doesn't have to be related to anything we're talking about. Throw some suggestions out there. Yeah. What do you think?
I think a couple of players, ex-players.
You should. Yeah.
Belly would be good.
Oh, my God.
Ozzy, Grigor, Danny. Would be good. Maybe we get
Flutes would be good if we can ever get him, but he'll say he's coming and then not show up.
No, we'd have to have a backup plan for him for sure.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, That's it for
All
me.
right, buddy. Listen, you keep studying, do your thing. I got to go practice my swing. We'll talk to you next week. This is the Morreale and Hitch Show. Luke, I am your father on the Ticats Audio Network. Bye.
Sound like Arnold.
Morreale and Hitch, dropping every Wednesday. Subscribe, like, laugh.